Well, our moms think we're funny.
Hello. We wanted to let you know that we recorded this episode in the car during a road trip. The audio is not as good as we would like, but it was too funny not to post. We hope. Anyways, enjoy all you sexy pieces of meat.
We are recording now.
So, how about those drive-thrus?
How about them? Hey everyone, I'm Acomi.
Hey everybody, this is Turk182.
Boy, have we had some experiences this weekend.
Oh my goodness.
This week, really.
Yeah.
We've dealt with some real idiots and some real assholes. I think that's fair to say, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I consider myself an asshole in a very, very friendly way.
Yeah, like, there's a difference between being an asshole and being a likable asshole.
Thank you. I'm a likable asshole.
Yeah.
So I say that to say that I think you're being way too generous by saying some assholes. These people were
Fuck nuggets.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Fuck tards.
Yep.
So, I guess to provide a little, like, context and background, we're driving back from, GalaxyCon Raleigh?
Yep.
GalaxyCon Raleigh. Boy, it's late. I'm tired. GalaxyCon Raleigh. It was a halfway decent show. We had fun. We liked it. But, I'd had something of an experience over the span of the past 4 or so days and was like, I kind of want to do a podcast on it. And Turk was like, maybe you should just do, like, a little mini comic on it or something, or a drawing of it. And I was like, I really think I could bitch about it for a full hour. And he's like, I don't know. Then we hit a drive-thru, and no sooner did we pull out of the drive-thru, the Turk was like, get your fucking phone out, we're doing a podcast.
So this is going to be a complete, I think, bitch session.
Pretty much, yeah, but we're going to try to make it as entertaining as possible.
Okay, so we got to start off with, I was, Acomi and I both had the same, and we were sitting next to each other, so we had the same problems with the what's the term, fuck nuggets?
Yeah.
Right? So with the FNs that were behind us. Hey, I was just like, it's over. Yes, it was completely, it was what it was, but, it's over, and I could just, decompress. We're on our way home. We got everything going. We're good. We're pulling the gang.
It's our time to reflect. Decompress is a really good word. It's like, this is when we reflect on the show. We talk about, here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's what we want to do differently for next time. Here's what we're inspired about. It's supposed to be a really healthy, cathartic thing for us.
How does this change our plans for what we want to do in the future?
Yeah. So, I think I'm gonna let you talk about the drive-thru thing first before we get into the fuck nuggets.
Well, so neither Acomi or I have eaten all day. I think I had a cookie, but I don't think you had a cookie, did you?
Nah. Well, I had some pizza for breakfast. I had leftover pizza for breakfast. But yeah, so I haven't eaten since like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I had the cookie at the table. We should have had one.
You're right, but you didn't tell me about the cookie at the table.
You can't read my line, can you?
No, I can't, dude. It's 10:15. We're like 2.5 hours away from your place, and then I got a 2-hour drive. Yeah, I was trying really hard.
I know you were.
That doesn't put the cookies in my mouth, okay? Move on.
So it's one of my favorite lines from, actually now I'm drawing a blank. From Billy Madison.
Billy Madison, yes.
He's like, when's Billy getting here? I'm hungry. He goes, I had some Twisted Crackers out in the car. You should have had one. Well, maybe if you told me they were delicious Twisted Crackers, I would have. He goes, well, I'm sorry. Well, sorry, doesn't put the Twisted Cracker in my stomach. Now, does it?
It's the whole maybe if you told me thing that I always choke up on. I do bad with.
So we're both hungry, and it's late. And we've been up since like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And now we're on the road. It's 8 o'clock, so we really haven't, with the exception of your cold pizza, we really haven't had anything to eat for a good 12 hours.
Yeah.
Actually, we were planning on getting Starbucks, which is outside the convention center, across the street, and actually on the opposite side of the block. So just outside, across the street, and then around the block.
And it was such a sequence of mishaps and misfortunes and fuckatry that the Starbucks never got. And we like restructured our plans like 20 times of like, okay, well, we're just going to do A, B, and C at the table, and then we'll run and get Starbucks, and then we'll come back and do D, C, and G, and it like never.
But the reason we never got the Starbucks was because we had some. What the fuck is this? This is the second time this happened.
Yeah.
Holy shit! On the way there, we're on like a 2-lane road, whatever, and we had like a car coming at us in the opposite lane. And then here it is. I'm like, that's not right. I shouldn't see 4 headlights coming at me. This is weird. Oh my goodness.
The wife calls the husband, and she's like, you gotta watch out on your commute to work. I just heard on the news that some maniac is driving the wrong direction on the highway. And he's like, oh, it's not just one guy, it's everybody.
So, geez whiz, it's just the fucking tree will not end.
I wish that could be the name of this episode, but YouTube won't let us put the fuck word in our titles.
So anyway, the reason that we never got to Starbucks was because we were like, okay, well, we're gonna go, but first we're gonna check on this thing right here. So we were presented with a lot of opportunities, a lot of great opportunities, but unfortunately, those opportunities prevented us from taking the time we need to go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Which I say unfortunately, because it's not like we really need to give Starbucks any more money. It's not like they have like tremendous coffee that I just can't live without, right? It's just that we kind of had set up, we were going to get some Starbucks, and we were also like, hey, maybe we'll grab a scone too, because, I could use a scone. Because again, there's that whole not eating for 12 hours thing, right? Which is can be normal for me, because I've gone, I did 5 days without eating?
Yeah.
So, and the only reason I ate on that last day was because I was starting to get lightheaded. And like on the verge of passing out lightheaded. I just consisted on chewing gum and Gatorade.
And longest I've gone is like 24 hours. I got to have my food.
Now, I will say that my longest time awake, which is like a little over, right at 48 hours, it was a little over 48 hours.
Yeah.
Was not at the same time that I went like 5 days without eating.
Pretty sure if you tried both of those things, you would die.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Challenge accepted. So
you're wrong, bitch.
Street Fighter thing is, you have a new challenger. So we were presented with these opportunities, but it did require us to kind of to wait for us to be able to take advantage of them. And as that time went by, just Starbucks got further and further away, which is again is perfectly fine. But we just didn't get Starbucks.
Yeah.
So
it was perfectly fine at the time. In retrospect, it's like, damn, we should have done Starbucks, because now look at us.
Well, we should have done Starbucks first or something. Or you got to pay somebody to do Starbucks. I don't know. So that's why we were hungry. So we're going down the road. It's like, we got to get some food. We're ready. And saw a couple signs there, and we had our choices. And Acomi said Wendy's, and he's like, you like? He's like, I love Wendy's. You like Wendy's? I was like, no, not really. I was like, we can pick something else. Like, well, no, I can just get something from somewhere else. We got other restaurants. I can stop twice. Not a big deal. So we pull into the Wendy's, and you say, you wanted to get the $5 bag or whatever, right? Yeah, I'm like, what? That doesn't sound too bad, because really all I wanted was something really kind of snack on. I was probably going to get chicken tenders anyway. So I was like, okay, that comes with these little nuggets or whatever. That's fine. So we're sitting there, and the drive-thru thing starts off, and the guy's like, just a minute. And it's like, oh, shit. The microphone's still on.
It's still on.
He's like, what? He's like, oh, hey, man, yo, you got a penny? You got a penny? He's like, I dropped a penny, man. Yeah, I was gonna give it to him. I dropped a penny. You got a penny? No, I dropped it. Oh,
you don't have a penny? Are you shitting me?
It's like, you have a penny? It's like, well, maybe I just get 5 cents from them. And I'm like, wait, it's a penny. It's a penny. You dropped the penny you were going to give to them, so now you're going to ask the person that you're waiting for that gave you money if they have 5 cents as well, because, like, well, okay, I can't fathom this, right? And he's like, is that still on? Then turn it off. he just checked to make sure it was still on, so that everybody could hear his fucking tree incompetence, right? And I know he sounds like, damn, you're being a little hard, man, right? This could have been his first day at work. It could have been. It could have been. But you don't put somebody's first day at work, right, like on the drive-through.
Yeah, right? on like dinner time rush hour drive-through.
It's like, hey, you don't put like a guy who's like, hey, this is your first day at the butcher shop, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you on slicing meats, and yeah, just go at it. Like, no, you don't do that. So, and apparently there was no one there helping him or whatever. So he's still doing what he's doing, and we're just kind of sitting there. And then we
sat for a good 6 or 7 minutes.
Okay, so what did we do? Well, we sat there some more. So we sat there and we sat, and then finally, right, he comes up and he's like, yeah, it was what can I get for you? And it's like, okay, I would need 2 $5, whatever they are, large size. Okay? And it's like, what sauce you want? What? What kind of nugget sauce you want? None. Huh? None. All right. He said none. What do you want to drink? On one of them, I want a Coke Zero with no ice, and the other I want a sweetened tea. What? Coke Zero with no ice. All right, so no ice. What was the other thing? A sweetened tea.
What?
Hey, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. A sweetened tea. How many of those bags you want? 2. Okay. All right. So, you want no sauce for both of those? Yes. And I know I'm screaming because this is how this conversation was. It was just basically us screaming back and forth. And I can see the guy behind me waiting in line, like in my side mirror. He's just kind of like, yeah, hey, man, what's going on up there, right?
Right.
It's like, why is the idiot in front of me screaming at the drive-thru? It's like, dude, you don't have to talk that loud, man. It's like it's like you talk to a blind person. You have to scream at them, right? Joking, of course, joking. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you should totally scream at blind people.
It's like because they're blind, they can't hear you.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right. He's like, that's a sweet tea. So you want a sweet tea? I'm like, yes. Okay. And so no sauce.
You want no sauce on both of them?
All right, so you want a bag with no sauce, and you want like Coke Zero, no ice, and sweetened tea. Anything else? Yeah, on one of those sandwiches, I don't want any vegetables. No what? Say no, I don't want any lettuce or or onion or anything. He's like, what about the tomato? No tomato either. Pickle? No pickle, just plain. All right. You want the cheese on that? Like, motherfucker, what world do you live in where cheese is a goddamn vegetable? I mean, seriously. It's like, do you have like a family somewhere? Did someone teach you and here's our cheese harvest, right? It's like, now people think that cheese grows on trees. It doesn't. Cheese comes up from the ground. It grows in these little cheese vines. Like, motherfucker.
Come on, Opie, we're going to Uncle Wilson's cheese farm.
So it's like, yes, I want the cheese on it. All right. And the other one, what you want on that? Just everything. All right. Okay, that'll be like 13 something. All right, thank you. I pull up, right? And he says something, and I can hear the guy behind me is pulled up, and he's like, no, he's like, no, that was the other car. He's like, what? He's like, no, they pulled up. That was the other car. Like, you've already given me my total, right?
Yeah.
What else do you need to say to me?
And said, please drive around.
So it says he starts talking to the guy behind me, who says he pulled up. He's like, yeah, he pulled up. And I can hear what sounds like he said, no, don't put in that order for the biggie bags. I'm like, what God. So they were sitting there for like another, I don't know how long, like another 7 to 8 minutes waiting for the 2 cars that are in front of us. Not a lot of cars, just 2 cars that are in front of us. get up there, and we get up there, and he's like, he's like, all right, that'd be $2.12. I'm like, $2.12? I'm like, here's a 20, dude. I don't even want to ask why you told me whatever. Here's a 20. So he goes through it, and I'm watching him as he's like punching the stuff into the machine, like almost like the buttons on the machine were like a rattlesnake. He had like hit him real hard with his finger back, like tap, tap, tap. I'm like, damn, dude. Yeah, punching in like nuclear launch codes?
So we need to rewind just a smidgen, because as we were waiting and wondering, did this guy cancel our fucking order? I said, you know, we can go to another restaurant. We can find another restaurant. It's not too late. They haven't taken our money. We can just leave and get out of the situation. And you said, no, I have to see this. I have to see what this thing looks like.
Okay, if we pulled up there and he did not put our order in, yes, I was out. Like, well, I can put it in now. No, bye. You know, I mean, then the question came up, I was like, okay, we can always go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, do we want to go somewhere else here? And like, I believe you called it Bumblefuck?
Yeah,
right?
Bumblefuck, North Carolina.
Or do we want to like leave here, like, you know, leave this place and go to the next place that we see if we can get? And he was like, well, we just go and get there. I was like, for all I know, right? Like, the next place is just as bad. I was like, and I said, like, you know, like the Pico version of him might be working at Hardee's across the street, right? And we cannot escape it. That's a Rick and Morty reference for those of you who don't get it, right? So I'm like, and he was like, yeah. He's like, but I'm really hungry. We look at the time; it's like 9:44. If we get on the road and there's like nothing else there for like another 10, we can miss it. It's Sunday, right? So we can really pretty much miss it. It's like, yeah. So if they don't have the order ready, it's like, so we look at this guy that's in the drive-through window, and Acomi goes, it's like, yeah, he doesn't look bad. And I was like, no, that's not the guy that was there a minute ago, right? And this guy comes around, and I'm not gonna say he has like a question mark for a face, right? But he does have this like slightly clueless look. But he's old enough, because he's not a full beard, right?
Oh yeah,
like a full beard mustache. So he's old enough should be able to do something as simple as take a message, right, and then translate that into like an order.
Right.
Which is, I want this. Okay, there's this.
His facial expression was that of a newborn calf.
Right.
Like staring into the headlights of an oncoming train.
I mean, I could see more comprehension in the eyes of Carl Childers than I did in this guy. I actually think I could have gotten a better order. Like, what kind of food do you want? I'm like, let me get you it. 2 baby bags. You want some French fry taters like that? Yeah.
You want the mustard on that?
No mustard. It's like, they got her nuggets. I think that's no peckers in there or something. I mean, I would be like, oh, yeah, at least he took my order, right? Right. Not like, can you hear me? I was like, what do we feel like freaking like Sprint commercial?
The thing is, you answered him the first time. You were like, a sweet tea, and he's like, can you hear me?
Oh, man, so
motherfucker, we've heard everything since you dropped the damn penny.
So he gives me back my change, right? And then the lady there, she gives me my drink, right? And I grab it, and of course, you can feel there's no ice in it. I'm like, okay, here's your Coke Zero, right? Give it to Acomi, and she hands me the next drink. It also has no ice in it. I was like, okay, great. So, no ice in my sweet tea. Okay, fine, you know. Get him there, the guy hands us our bags and everything. And at this point, I'm really reluctant to eat the food, because I'm like, it's not that like I think he's like back there picking his nose while eating or whatever. I'm just like if you can't take an order, right, and everybody around you can clearly see that this guy does not know what he's doing, right? On the window. I mean, like imagine if your pilot was like, yeah, so we're flying. I'm gonna contact the tower. Tower, are we clear to land? No, you're not clear. Can you hear me? No, you are not clear to land.
I keep pushing down, but the plane's just going up.
Right. I mean, it's like I'm like, no, you would someone around to be like, hey, buddy, let's how about you come sit over here and I'll take over? Or if nothing else, hand the guy fucking Snickers or something. I don't know, something to make this situation better. But no, they just all sat around, just like either like they were like, yup, that's how we do it, or maybe they're like, this is how you learn, man. This is how you learn. We just put you in the drive-thru. This is how you learn. I don't know.
Good job, Opie.
But I'm so hesitant now to eat the food because I'm thinking like maybe they're all just like it's their first day, right? Like the store just opened, it's their first day, and it's like I don't know how to work the grill. Jeez whiz. So we get the food, right? And the Kobe starts eating, and he's like, here's your bag. I'm like, well, hold on, let me get somewhere actually. So the fries are hot. At least that was a plus. The fries were hot, right? And I'm like, but I'm thirsty, dude. I'm thirsty. And I put the straw in my drink, and I grab my drink, and I slurp, and I'm like, it's Coke Zero. Okay. So we swap the cups out and everything. I take my straw out of that cup, I put it in the other cup, and I go, fuck, it's Coke Zero.
Which I feel really bad about. Really, really bad about.
And here's the worst part about it. So I currently do not have anything to drink. And when we decided to do a podcast, Acomi says, oh, hey, I'll let you start off. That way you can sit there and get the driest mouth possible. Like the Sahara on like Arrakis, right? And so I'm like, I'm trying to conjure spit from somewhere, right? I mean, I'm trying to make myself cry right now just so the tears are running down my face and I have something to moisten my mouth with.
And there has been no drive-thru since we left that place.
Oh, no, because the only way to get to Raleigh is back roads.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. It's Raleigh.
I mean, we are on a dark desert highway.
Cool wind in my hair. Warm smell of, like, old Wendy's food rising up in the air.
And I mean, I've gone to bat for Wendy's before. I've defended Wendy's left and right. I fucking love Wendy's typically, but this was the worst drive-thru experience. Okay, second worst drive-thru experience I've ever had.
It's like,
so
you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. What? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. So I'm like, hey, this can't get any. I'm like, oh wait, really?
And I said to the night man, please bring me my wine. And he said, what?
He's like, we want ice in that wine? Like, here's 2 wines, no ice.
2 champagnes, no ice. Like, no, I wanted a wine.
Oh my goodness.
So,
because I'm not strong on the register. I'm strong when it comes to taking orders.
I could really use the time.
Hey, I know you. And you're not mad at him, you're just pointing at him. Oh my goodness.
Here you go, a food computer, just like Captain Clark used to use.
That's Captain Kirk.
No, it's Captain Clark.
We've referenced this a couple of times.
Oh,
but I feel like we kind of have to with each podcast for people that have not heard another one. So I was able to introduce to Acomi 2 of my favorite SNL sketches. I introduced you to a third one that you were like, yeah, that was funny, but 2 of my favorite SNL sketches. One's from the 80s, and it's Martin Short and Harry Shearer, along with oh my goodness, I can't even think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, same here.
The 6-Finger Man.
Yeah.
So it's a sketch about the male synchronized swimmers, and Harry Shearer and Martin Short are 2 brothers that are training for male synchronized swimming for the Olympics, and
it's beautiful.
It is so great.
And the one has like water wings on the entire time because he's not the strongest swimmer.
And that's Martin Short's character, who looks like he may be a little slow. Yeah. And then the other one was another one of my favorites. It's Sylvester Stallone in a sketch. Right, it was actually during the time that Copland was out. He was promoting Copland.
Oh, okay.
And which is one of my favorite movies. And it's him working at I think it was an electronic boutique or something like that, a computer store. and Will Ferrell comes in to buy a computer, and he's not really good at it, and
he doesn't really know computers that well.
And Will Ferrell says that he's looking for one with a Pentium processor. He's like, a precision. He's like, I'll go ask my manager, Doug.
He's like, hey man, it's 1990s. Who really needs a Pentium processorizer?
It's like, Doug says he hasn't heard about one of those precision. You're a crazy person. You should leave the store now. And then tries to sell him
a vending machine.
A vending machine. Calls it a computer like Captain Clark has on the internet. It's like this one right here. This computer kicks ass. You should totally buy it. Is that cash or charge? You have to look them up. They are some of the funniest.
They're phenomenal. That Sylvester Stallone one is called the Orange Julius sketch.
It's great.
And it's great. He's like, yeah, there's something you should know about the computer you want to buy. It's for gays.
It's like, what? He's like,
gays. It's for gays, Jay.
And then when Tim Meadows comes out as the manager, he's like, are you Doug? He's like, there's no Doug that works here. And he's like, I just want one with a Pentium processor. Like, well, that one has a Pentium processor. He told me that one's for gays. And you've never seen Sylvester Stallone in a role like this.
Oh yeah,
absolutely hilarious.
It's the best thing I've ever seen him do.
Oh.
But yeah, so that. Oh yeah, plus they got my order wrong too on my burger.
Oh yes,
because it still had ketchup and mustard and no bacon.
Right, no bacon.
Totally fucking defeats the point of getting a biggie bag. I could have just gotten a 4 for $4 and gotten exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
yeah. So that's the end of my just like the straw that like they didn't break the camel's. It's like the camel's like, doctor said you need a backiotomy. So
God, if you're listening, help!
She slept with my mama. Anyway, so enough of all that. So anyway, so now I'm going to I've vented and I feel better for it. It's good. Cathartic. I'm like, and so now I'm going to turn this podcast over to a podcast host who doesn't make babies cry and not own a toothbrush. Take it away, Acomi.
Okay, so this is one of those whole before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. That's sort of a scene, and we probably could have survived the bad drive-through experience were it not for this 4 days of build-up with this con that we're driving home from. And I think it is safe to say that these were the worst table neighbors we have ever had. Do you think that's a fair assessment, Turk?
I would say that is beyond a fair assessment.
Okay.
And we've had some that have been less than friendly,
right?
Whatever.
We've had the standoffish ones. We've had like the pretentious types. But yeah, no, and these guys weren't right next to us. The way we were seated, we were at the end cap, and next to us was Roscoe Leroy, aka the legendary Wally, and next to him was a talented young lady who had some very nice color prints, and then just on down the line. But behind us, facing the opposite direction. Coming at it like a bat out of hell, man.
So, I have to interject here. Interjection, and excitement, and emotion. So, when I first went to this con, my publisher had said, hey, which they often do, is like, hey, you going to this thing here? I'm like, well, what is it? So, example, are you going to San Diego? I'm like, and I'm really polite about it, even though I don't really have to be. Not that they'll be offended, but I'm like, no, I'm not. It's like San Diego. I'm like, I mean, I don't have money for San Diego, right? And I'm like, well, when is it? It's Thursday. Like, today's Tuesday. I can't go to San Diego. And so they're sitting there. They're like, hey, you going to Raleigh? I'm like, when is it? It's Thursday. I'm like, what the fuck is Tuesday? Why why do you tell me shit on Tuesday? That's happening on Thursday. You're like the con version of like Wimpy from like Popeye. It's like I'll gladly invite you to a con Tuesday. That's gonna happen on Thursday. You know? So he invites me, and I'm like, all right, I can't make it to the Thursday. It's a 4-day con, but I show up on Friday. Get there, I don't have a place to stay. Luckily for me, you know, Leroy Roscoe Leroy was there, and he let me crash on the sofa of his room, and he had a really nice room. And so we're there, and he introduces me to another artist friend of his, and I meet them, and we're having dinner that night, and the artist friend is saying, he's like, hey, he's like, man, those people next to me and everything is like, oh my god, it's like these people are horrible, and they're like kind of loud, abrasive, obnoxious, and they stink. They smell bad. I mean, we're talking like they would make that yellow bastard be like a Febreze, right? As it was conveyed to me.
Is that what he said?
No, that's a great descriptor, though, right?
It's a very accurate descriptor. Oh my god.
So he's like, and what's worse is that his girlfriend is constantly sitting on the opposite side of him than where they are. Is constantly like starting conversation, so they have to lean in. So they're talking like over him, and he's stuck in the middle, you know, like Steelers wheels. And I'm like, and he's just like, oh god, well, she would stop doing that, and she's only doing it to get at him, not because she's mad at him. They haven't been fighting or anything, just because she thinks it's funny. So
she doesn't know. She doesn't know how bad this is. But
so it just so happens that we're at this con, and they pop in, right? And they're talking to us or whatever, and
to be fair, I had totally forgotten about his story, but I'll touch on that more later.
Right, I had to as well.
So
then we're starting talking, and he says, he's like, you're gonna make friends with your table mates behind you, and I was like, and I looked at him, and
that's the part I was gonna touch on later.
Oh yeah, okay. So anyway,
there's a build up.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. This. I completely hijacked your story.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
So go back.
So
I'm gonna go back and try and make myself surprised. Okay.
So they arrive at their table Thursday morning. Sorry, this was a 4-day show, which we're really not used to. They arrive at their table Thursday morning, and they spread out, because that's really the only way to describe it, is they just spread out. They spill out like a goddamn can of biscuits that just popped in the middle. And you know,
that's good, which is just like pop and just explode.
Yeah, because they just get there and they're just like, and just spread. And so this was our first time really trying to work with a print stand. We've noticed in previous shows that a lot of artists have really good luck, like setting up a nice tall stand to display their prints, and like it increases your visibility. So we're pretty excited about this. But then throughout the entire span of our first day, constantly, we just hear clack, and we look up and the prints are all swaying, and the whole stand is swaying like it's just about to come apart. And they're just standing there like, oops, I didn't mean to bump into it.
Now, the space between tables, right?
Yeah, we should touch on
this. Let's see. I'd say
8 feet.
I'd say 8 feet. Yeah, I was gonna say 6. So like, 6 is way too much. 8 feet. We have been relegated to 3.
Yeah. And we checked, like, our entire half of that cluster of tables, they, like, just everybody had set up their print stands within the 3-foot mark, because we were trying to be polite. It's like, oh, we don't want to, like, spread out our print stand into other people's turf, so we're going to keep it really clustered to the table. We did it, Leroy did it, everybody did. So, for example, at the last show we did, we had a little bit more room because the tables were set up differently. But generally, what you do is you set your stuff up, and then a lot of times you've got like other, the stuff that you're, like bags or whatever, boxes of books, whatever it is you use to bring your stuff in, right? And you can't fit all that stuff under the table and have leg room. You don't want to stick it out. So a lot of times you'll put it behind your stand, behind you. So there's kind of this unspoken rule where, like, if there's extra room, then fine.
you may move your stand back or whatever, but you're kind of set up within a certain parameter. And then you've got extra room to put all your stuff back there. You don't want like a box of trash and visible to everybody. So you put all that kind of stuff back there, you know, and then actually you do have some room, but you first kind of set up within a certain guideline. And then everyone can see how much space is left.
Yeah, and this is just good con etiquette. If you have exhibited at any fucking show, and I don't just mean Comic-Cons, I mean if you've been to a Ren fair, if you've set up at like some kind of jewelry show of some sort, if you've set up at anything where
Adult Entertainment
Expo, anything where you set up booths, it's just good fucking etiquette. And to me, it's common sense. To me, this is not something that was ever explained to me. I just knew what to do because I'm not a rude person by nature, typically.
It's not something that you really need to explain it. And I just gotta say, I love it. I love it when you get to the point where you're just like, just dropping bombs like, like an Outcast song. Just like, that's fantastic.
I'm not sure which specifically you're talking about, but
what? Fucking etiquette, just do you.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm just saying, I love it. Because only it's me saying the vain, vulgar one, the crass one. Everything. It's like, I mean, so again, I'm gonna hijack you again.
Sure.
So I meet an artist that I've seen dozens of times before at cons and everything. I was just, you know what? I'm actually gonna stop and say hi to this guy because he does great work, but I just never have. And I'm like, I need to do this more often. Just like, you know, just say hi. And I was like, yeah, I've seen you before and everything. And it's like, I've just never taken the time to say hi. And I just want you, he's like, and he's like, so you're just an asshole. And I'm like, damn. I was like, normally people have to get to know me for a little bit before they disappear, but he just saw right through me like he had an X-ray machine, right? And so that's kind of how I'm known. I'm known as the lovable asshole, right?
Yeah. Everybody's favorite asshole.
You know, no lovable. You know, it's like, you know, your mileage may vary, kind of thing, right? But
no homo.
But you know, but Acomi is not. Acomi's the one that I always see is like, oh, he's sweet and everything. You know, he's the guy that like, oh, he's so polite and nice and everything.
I'm the sweet, innocent, happy-go-lucky guy with a dark side, as it turns out.
Even though he looks like Mickey Knox, though, I bet you that's not his fault. You know?
He didn't ask to be bald.
So it's always nice to see that other side of you come out. So,
oh man,
you know, I'm not gonna say it makes me look any better, right?
I got the eye of the tiger, man.
But it doesn't. It does make me look not as bad.
I'm glad I could help, because I mean, like, it didn't get bad until Friday. And I'll get to that too.
I like you said, didn't get back till Friday, which is like the second day of the show.
Right, but because Thursday was just like, they're just ignorant, you know. We'll give them a chance, and it just went downhill from there. And I remember,
you know, it made me think of. I just say it's like, you know, they just, you know, like, like down, they wholesome, like, you know, morons. So I can't remember the exact line from Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, pretty much. So but like halfway through Thursday, we realized, so not only are these people, you know, large, loud, obnoxious, smelly rednecks, but you know, they're just like screaming. That's how they engage with people who are walking by their table. And
we're not talking about like Sam Jackson screaming.
No,
we're talking about Sam Jackson through like a megaphone, like that episode of The Simpsons with Bart.
Yeah, I mean, we're not just talking like people who like talk with their diaphragm or whatever, because that's what Davis used to do, and that's totally cool, because you're just projecting. That's actually how you're supposed to talk. This was, Sir, I love your cosplay. Every 5 minutes. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, it was. Not only was it bad, but it was obnoxiously bad. It was like, oh my God, that's so great! Look at you. It's like, are you from Halo? No, I'm a Lego man. Like, how the fuck do you get like? They both wear helmets? I mean, get gear.
And then it got to where they were like commenting on people's personal appearances. It was like, sir, you're very tall. Oh my God, you're so tall. How tall are you? And it was always like that, like very slowly, like dragging out and enunciating their words. And so now we're kind of looking at each other, you know, late Thursday afternoon of like, we got us some hickabillies here, man. I mean, this is kind of bad. Like they're a little bit uncouth.
Yeah, oh, and love wrestling.
Oh, they love wrestling. They love their wrestling, and they also broke another bit of con etiquette of they had a portable speaker going on, blaring music, and that's not cool.
Shit music.
Shit music, man. Just shit music. And like, I mean, that's just not cool. You don't do that. And again, to me, this is like fucking common sense of, gee, there's like 15 other tables here besides mine. Probably not everybody wants to hear my particular taste in music.
Hadn't been forgotten now, Joe. I've been married a long time. Like, what the? No, I would have straight up killed somebody if that song had come on.
God.
I would have just lost it. I would have woke up in a pool of blood. I'd be like, I don't know what happened.
So like we're just kind of tolerating. It's like, oh yeah, we've had iffy neighbors before. So we're dealing with the screaming, we're dealing with the music, we're dealing with the stink and all that. Dealing with them smacking into our print stand and knocking our prints around every couple of minutes.
Now, hold on, you keep saying they. You keep they. Them doing this, them doing that. Now, there were two. There was you and I, right? Yep. We were at our table, and of course, Roscoe Leroy, he had his own table.
Yeah.
And then when one of his collaborators joined him for one day, right? Then he was there behind the table for a little bit.
Right.
And that was so we had two tables. Normally you have 2 chairs per table.
Right. Right.
Who are they?
But
you keep saying they bumped into our. They did this. They did that.
The people at the tables behind us. They took up 2 tables. I really don't know how to adequately describe them. The woman who was doing most of the screaming was incredibly large. Did she have a mohawk? She had short hair.
I try not to look at them.
Yeah, that's my problem too. But
obviously, you said they took up 2 tables because I thought they only had 1 table.
They paid for only 1 table, if that's what you're asking.
Right, but that's what I'm alluding to.
But there was 4. There were 4 people spread out about 2 tables, but their setup was only at 1 table.
Okay, that's
so that
I keep saying they, as I wanted to make sure that people knew that we're talking about 4 people.
4 people.
In a 2-person space.
Trying to think, kind of like that family that kept challenging the guy to the race in Malibu Express.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like if you watched Malibu Express with us, because it is a let's watch. It was kind of like them, only like I think they were kind of a weight class above, maybe.
Yeah.
And so yeah, way too many people for a table, way spread out, taking up way more than their designated space, as fucking common sense should have told them.
On this planet, not just at the con.
I'm trying not to fat shame here.
I was talking about the fact that they were just like they were just bad people.
They were just bad people. I mean, they took up a lot of space, and not in the sense of physical space, but just their personalities were fucking loud, and their personalities were just tiring. So,
you're getting hot. Just tell the story.
I'm telling you. I mean, you heard how bad it was Friday morning, because we get there, and when we get there Friday morning, they have scooted my print stand so close up to our table that we couldn't get in. So we have to start to scoot it back. And we haven't even gotten the tablecloth off of our books and shit when they bump into it again, and it almost pitches forward, and I managed to catch it. And so I'm having to shift and shuffle and reorganize things. And she turns to me, the ringleader of this clusterfuck, turns to me, and she's like, "Sir, are you really hung up on this print stand idea?" And I'm like, "Well, this is our first time trying it, but it's doing pretty good for me. I don't hate it." And so she points to the wire stand that people use. There's box wire cubicles. I'm failing on the words here.
Yeah, the little cubicle square.
Yeah, travel cubes. That was the word I was fishing for. And we've tried them. They don't work for our table layout.
Right.
It's we tried them 2 or 3 times, and it's our table setup is not compatible with that. So I just said, we've tried it, we don't have good luck. She's like, "Oh, but it works great for us." I'm like, "Yeah, but we've tried it."
Not bathing works great for you.
Right, it's like we've tried it, we did not have good luck. We're trying to increase visibility. We got this. We're not new to the con game here. And so then she's like, well, you should consider just getting a retractable stand and printing your prints on that, and that way you'll save space. And I'm thinking, bitch, the only reason I'm having an issue with space is because you're 2 feet past the line of where you should be. Because, for fuck's sake, you're the one who keeps knocking into this. I'm not the one who knocks into my prints. So I managed to stay polite through that. I think I handled it pretty well.
Yeah, you were very diplomatic.
Okay, thank you. So I was rolling high on my diplomacy checks, but then it became a problem because we scooted back into place. We're still they still have their 5 feet to our 3 feet. So I get everything set up again, and we get all set down at the table. We're all settled, watching the foot traffic go by. And then I hear it again, clack, swing, 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 and I went off, and I managed to keep it all under my breath. But I was just like, God fucking damn it, this is the 5th time, and it's not even 9 o'clock. And Turk was just staring at me like, are you okay? I was like, no, this is not okay. This is officially not okay. This has happened so fucking much, and then they're going to turn around and lecture me on doing a setup that doesn't take up so much space. So, that just completely ruined Friday for me. Oh, God.
And while they're spread out like to the Rosa, and it's like,
oh God.
Why do you need, only one of you is a quote-unquote artist, right? Why do you need 3 extra people? One extra person, sure, okay, fine, right? But what are the other 2 doing? Why are they hanging out there behind the table with you? They're not doing anything except for just running there.
They're sitting there reclining a lot in their chairs.
And I think they brought their own like little folding chairs, didn't they?
Yeah, they brought those little folding camping stools. Just reclining, like leaning way back in them, and they're being spatially unaware. Because there wasn't one fucking time that they walked by the stand that they didn't run into the prints. And so, I mean, it just got to where, like, every time it happened, I was just cussing under my breath up a blue streak because of how mad it was making me. And then Saturday morning, I believe it was, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but Saturday morning, Leroy Roscoe's print stand completely fell, and he had to catch it.
Yeah.
And it like, literally fell on top of him, which, by the way, I've been doing cons since I was 19. I'm 29 now, so 10 fucking years. I've been doing this shit for 10 fucking years. I've never once seen one of those stands fall over.
Right, we're talking about a metal tripod stand.
Yeah, it's like a photography backdrop. It's designed to be sturdy.
And it just pitched forward on one leg.
And just landed on top of him. He had to like hike it up, get it off of him, get all of his prints fixed.
We came like this close to change his name to Flat Stanley.
So there's only one explanation I can see here, which is that the same fuckers who were, behind him are the same fuckers who are behind us, and they've already knocked into my print stand like 40 times, so why wouldn't they have knocked into his? So, at that point, I was just completely done. So, at this point, it's this day, and, and so I'm in such a salty mood, and I have, like, nothing kind to say about these people anymore. That is when Wally's artist friend comes by.
Yes.
And he's like, so, yeah, guys, how's the show going? And, we're like, oh, it's a little slow, foot traffic could be better, and I believe it was Wally who was like, we could do with some better neighbors. And your face kind of fell, and I could tell that, like, I was just, like, fuming. And I think you equated it, but, like, under a different circumstance, under a different happening, that it was the your movie sucks meme face.
Oh, yes.
That I was making. So I'm sure I was making that again, because that's what I do when I get pissed off. And so he's like, oh, what, you don't want to make friends with your neighbors? And Wally's like, not particularly. And you were like, fuck no, and I was just
I believe I threatened to kill both of them.
Yes, you did. You were like, if you even let them know about me, I will fucking kill both of you. And so I'm just chewing on my tongue, and he's like, oh, well, don't you know? They were my table neighbors last year. And you were like, you're fucking kidding. And I was like, and I just pointed back at them, and he was like, yeah, them. And I was like, God damn it. This explains everything. So,
yeah.
So he's like, yeah, if you want to make friends with him, you should talk to him about wrestling. They love wrestling. And I was like, fuck. fuck no. I don't want to make friends with these people. My God.
And then his girlfriend offered, I can go over there and talk to him. And I was like, I will. Unfortunately, in front of her daughter, which I did apologize. But I was like, oh, God.
And she was totally cool about it. She was like, I don't blame you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
So, like, we could have dealt with Opie and Wendy's and just been like, well, that was a misadventure and one of the worst drive-thru experiences of all time. But it's like keeping that on top of this, on top of just 4 straight days of just these people. And it was just awful. Like, without question, the worst table neighbors I have encountered in 10 years.
So, I'm gonna do what's the word I'm looking for? Diplomatic. I'm gonna use I'm gonna tell a very diplomatic version of the story, right? So our experience didn't start off well. We got in, we got things, it was kind of, it's set up as we wanted to get set up for the first night. We were a little late getting in. That was strictly my fault. I was not ready like I wanted to be ready. I'd been digging through old comic book boxes to find some stuff. And I think it was like 19, 20 boxes later, I was like, hey, I found what I was looking for. So that morning I was trying to get things ready. I hadn't packed yet, and I was tired, just crabbing. Something else going. And I forced you to watch a bunch of like videos on YouTube and stuff, right? So but it was Wednesday. We're 2.5 hours away. We really weren't in any kind of a hurry, right?
Yeah.
So we're still good. So we get on the road. We get in. We get to the convention center. We set up, right? Everything's cool again. We get as set up as we want to be, right?
Right.
So we're not trying to, we're like, we can put all the stuff out, this and that and everything else, but we'll do that later, right? It doesn't have to be done right this minute. We know exactly, it's kind of, we kind of set up almost the same way. We try to vary things up a little bit, but pretty much there's only so many ways you can lay books out, right?
Right.
So that's what we do. We get ourselves set up and, as much as we can. Let's go get some food and blah, 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 blah. Well, we couldn't get a hotel as close as we wanted to, so our hotel's like 5 miles away. But it's okay because there's a shuttle.
So they tell us.
Well, there was some miscommunication as far as the shuttle goes, as to where the shuttle was going to be, what it was going to be, this and that, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, the website didn't provide us any details. So there were a lot of pieces that were missing, and the hotel wasn't really very clear on how all this was supposed to work either. So that left us kind of like in the lurch as far as like, what are we doing? We're trying to get to the place,
because we asked the girl at the front desk about the shuttle, and her words exactly were, "I'm so confused." Great.
So she thought that we were talking about the hotel shuttle, not the one for the convention, and blah 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 blah. So. Anyway, and then we got to where it was like, we've got to get there. Leroy Roscoe was there. He's waiting on us. We got his badge, and you're giving him you're giving him a bunch of noise and static about, trying to come in and set up, even though he's got a bunch of stuff he's carrying in, not carrying out. It's like, you're pretty lightly on for the subway. So it was like we got to get there. And I don't want to drive, right? I mean, because they've got road construction, this and that, and I'm like, and I got to GPS it every time because I don't know this area.
And parking is shit.
Oh, yeah.
And traffic is shit. People drive like crazy in Raleigh.
Which is what I'm getting to. I don't want to have to like drive and then park in a parking garage or whatever, but especially when there's a shuttle, right? They'd be like, why'd you do that? There's a shuttle. So we're at the point where we've got to get there, right? And so we're like, screw it. I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna drive. But of course I didn't bring my keys because I wasn't planning on driving. So let me go upstairs and get my keys. So I go upstairs and I got my little like hotel app on my phone. It's gonna unlock the door for me, right? Yeah, I'm all James Bond sci-fi, right? Don't hate me. So Acomi says, hey, take my room key. That way you don't have to go and pull up your phone and do all this stuff. We're in a hurry. So I go up there and his room key doesn't work. Won't unlock the door. Mother puss bucket. So I'm like, okay, so I whip out my phone and everything, and go and do it, unlock it, grab my keys, and get ready to go. Coming downstairs, what pulls up, because Acomi's waiting by the car, because we go into the car first, remember, I don't have my keys. So Acomi's waiting by the car, and what pulls up in front of the hotel? The shuttle. The guy gets off, or the bus, the guy gets off, I ask him, hey, is this the bus for this, yada, 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 yada? He says, yes, fantastic. Like, I didn't know what was going on. He's like, yeah, apparently nobody really knows what's going on. So I text Acomi and say, grab the dish, let's go, the shuttle's here, right? Now we're at this point, we're behind what we want. We want to be there like an hour to a half hour early before the show started, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We are now like a half hour before the show started. We haven't left our hotel. And the show stops at 2 hotels before it circles around and goes back to the convention center.
At which point, it's a 30-minute drive.
Right. So it comes around every 30 minutes, but it's not like the top of an hour and the 30-minute mark, or every at 15 or 45. No, it's just every 30 minutes from the last time I was here, which is nothing to really set your watch by. Okay, fine, right? So we get everything, we get on the bus and everything, I text them like, hey, look, we're on our way there. We are on our way, the show just arrived, we're on our way there. So we go stop at the other hotel, we grab whoever's getting on there, and we're going, right? And we're going, next thing you know, there's two-lane road, right? Left lane, right lane, and but the right lane, just all of a sudden, like people just park there in the road, just park. We're just gonna park it. I live here now, right? And I'm like, hey, these are like, so, and people that live there, right? Because we had that problem leaving the convention center and going back to the hotel when we first came in. People that live there, they know that, right? So you know that, you make, you look out for it. So a guy that was we're in the left lane, guy's in the right lane, right? There's now suddenly cars in front of him, and they're parked. He whips out and switches lanes and everything, like sideswipes the front bumper of the bus, right? And gets in the left lane, keeps on going. Bus driver comes to a stop because we've been hit, right?
Right.
The driver keeps on going. He tries to snag a picture of the car and all that. But now he has to fill out an incident report. So then he goes a little bit further to get the bus out of the road because, of course, his car is parked in the right lane. We're stuck in the left. No cars can get around us. So he goes a little bit further so that he can get off the road and all that. And then we're sitting there for like another 10 to 15 minutes because they've got to call another bus to come and get us. So we don't get to the con until 15 minutes after the show started, when we were trying to get there like an hour to a half hour before, and we were there downstairs and everything where we needed to be in time or on time, but yet we are an hour and 15 minutes past that. We wanted to be 15 minutes after, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is so just what the crap.
Yeah, it was a really bad start to the thing.
The one redeeming factor of all this, the bus drivers and the bus line, right? They were fantastic.
They were fucking heroes.
Absolutely just the best. They were the shit straight up and down. I mean, the drivers, I mean, they after getting on and off and everything, they kind of knew who we were. They looked for us. They were very polite. They were like, yeah, we're going to get you here. We're going to take care of you. We'll be back here in a half hour and everything. Hope you guys have a good day. They were absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they were phenomenal. They were phenomenal.
So when people talk about customer service, right, it's like, we want to get the best. This was probably some of the best customer service. And I'm not trying to demean them in any way, but from a bus driver, right? All he has to do is drive the bus. He really doesn't have to talk to us, right? Just like, all aboard, everybody off, or whatever it is. Here we are, right? But no, these guys were they were polite. They were friendly. They were tops.
They were good drivers.
Oh yeah, they were good drivers, because even the guy that with the accident, that wasn't his fault.
Not his fault at all, and he handled it beautifully.
Yeah,
he followed protocol perfectly. I mean, I was very impressed the whole way through. So, and you see, this proves that we can say nice things about people when they fucking earn it.
Yeah, it's like even when things start out kind of in not a very good spot, things kind of turn around or whatnot or yada yada yada. But the thing is, they can be made better with the right decisions and the right people handling things.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
And so we have, even though, like, once we got through that snafu, we're still upset. I should say snafu, right? Because that stands for something different. But once we got
The
through
FUBAR.
that incident, right? And we got to understand how things worked. It ran so much smoother, but a lot of that was with the help of those bus drivers.
Yeah. Because we started building our plans around what they were doing, and they were reliable and consistent with it. And that was great. That was so great.
And very personable. Yeah, they were fantastic.
Yeah, I felt like they actually gave a damn about us, which is a really nice feeling. So I think the lesson here, the bit of life advice you can take away from the bus drivers as well as our drive-through experience is, whatever your job, whatever your situation, do the best job that you can do, because it stands out to people. It shows. It shows when you give a damn. It really is very telling when you give a damn.
And I mean, in saying that, right? And I'm not trying to the defense of anybody, but since we don't know the full story, for all we know, that new student to Xavier's school, he could have been doing his best. He really could have been.
He may have been. He may have been. But
the fact that he was obviously struggling and people around him didn't help out, that's when I have a problem.
I mean, also, if you're in over your head and you are brand new to the job or whatever, then you need to have the wherewithal to go to a manager, go to a supervisor, go to somebody with more experience and say, help me. Don't keep Gomer piling the situation of like, oh, Shazam, I dropped your change all over the ground. Let me head out there and get that for you. It's like, no, just go get help. And because that's part of giving a damn. I mean, part of it is that you have to care enough to say, this situation is not going well. I'm still inexperienced. I need help. If that's what it was. I'm not convinced.
And you said Gomer pile, and because we keep flipping Gomer pile and private pile back and forth, I always assume that when I hear pile, you're immediately going to go private pile. And I was thinking, it's like, cook those patties. Especially, don't bring the stove over to the spatula, I'm sorry, did I choke you up there?
Yeah. It's okay. That's a good reason to choke.
Oh.
Because I was just picturing him scoot with the stove.
Oh, my goodness.
What are these chicken nuggets doing in your cubbyhole private pile? I was saving it for later, sir.
They fell out of the piggy bag, sir. Oh.
Are you allowed to have those private piles? No, sir, I'm too heavy, sir.
You are a disgusting fat body private pile. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
So,
but yeah,
so this was so our moms think we're funny bitch session.
Well, yeah, and the other bit of life advice before we totally wrap up is just have some courtesy, If you're going to be out in the public dealing with other people outside of your family, just have some common fucking courtesy.
And some sympathy and some taste.
Just utilize common sense. It's not hard. None of this is like, top 10 Comic-Con life hacks that you didn't know about. Want to make a good impression on your table neighbors? Don't get up in their space.
Right.
Bathe. Don't scream.
Don't play loud, obnoxious music for no good reason. I mean,
and you're running at an 11. I'm going to need you down to 4. Okay.
And here's the thing. It's bad enough when it wasn't so bad here, but I think we had a big problem. I know I had a big problem with it at Otakon, right? And I think there was a smaller problem with it at the Richmond Con.
Yeah.
Which is people walking around with like Bluetooth speakers, just blaring music, right? Which is so annoying to me. Like, okay, get some headphones. I really don't give a shit about what it is you're listening to. I really don't. And the fact that you feel the need to dangle this thing from the back of your backpack or off your waistband or whatever, blaring some, like, and it's normally just garbage. And I know that's all in the ear of the beholder, right?
No, it's usually like anime theme music. It's garbage.
And it's just garbage. And it's blaring. So I can't stand with, like, blaring JoJo the Idiot Boy here, and then you with just this competing is like it's like amp versus amp, but the most ridiculously bullshitted stuff. Oh.
Like in this corner is the fucking Banjo Kazooie soundtrack. That's the one I heard today.
Oh.
Versus Old Town Road.
Oh yeah, it just
like come on, people. God, it cannot be that hard. It really can't.
Yeah, because this is how I envision. We really said anything to them. Oh, and apparently, remember, there was the whole thing is like that before we got there, there was some kind of disagreement between them that almost busted out into a fight. That's what the Leroy's telling us.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But okay, anyway, we could have said some things, right? But one thing is, you're gonna be with these people for the next 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah.
And so you try to make do, and you try to be nice, and until they really cross the line, right? I mean, you're gonna go and be like, hey, these people are over the line, they're taking up too much space or something like that, or it puts things in a situation where it makes it hard for you to work and do what you're doing, even though we're just sitting there trying to sell people. It makes it difficult, right?
Not being able to raise your hands because your back is to the wall is difficult.
And it's not that you got to eat shit or whatever, but we are very, very low on the ranking here, right? And so it's it's really difficult to kind of say, okay, this is what we need, and back up, and So beside all that, we didn't say anything, right? And but sometimes you realize that you don't really have to say anything to realize that a conversation is not going to go anywhere.
Right.
You don't have to like be Sun Tzu to know to pick your battles, and to know when a situation is untenable.
Right.
And if I can imagine this is how the conversation would have gone if we had been like, hey, look, you guys are taking up a lot of space here, right? And if nothing else, like, just we need to split this some. We need to be able to move our stuff back some. We just need you to show some courtesy. Courtesy? I mean, that's Nintendo. That's how that conversation would have gone.
100%.
Because you're talking about people that showed up there, right? And they immediately spread out. So you actually have no sense at all of just like how things work. It's not even like you're on your own little world. It's like you're on your own little. I don't know. Planet. I don't even think they'd even run a planet. They're just like.
Well, I mean, I can tell you what really would have happened is, we would have talked, and she would have been like, Sir, you need to calm down. We paid for this space. We have just as much a right to this as you. And just would have refused to have acknowledged any part of her fault in it.
And just like last con where we were at, where I was so disgusted with everything about it that I threw my hands up and was just like, you know what? I don't. You know what? That might be very unprofessional of me. I'm just gonna say it right now. That might be very unprofessional of me. Just be like, look, I'm throwing my hands up, and I'm just gonna say, fuck it, I don't care. But it got to the point where we were, and I guess I don't really want to say how we were treated, because we weren't treated poorly, but it was more of like how we were being viewed.
Right.
Say that this space is okay, right? Or that for you to be in this is okay. That's not okay. And I didn't like that, and I didn't like a lot of things about it. And to where I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I just can't. And I was really to the point here where I was like, yeah, I paid my money for my table, but that money's been paid. It's gone. It's not coming back. There's no time machine, right? It's not coming back. So I really don't have any problems with just saying fuck it and just walking away from the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's one of those where I don't want to do that if I don't have to. If it's unnecessary, I don't want that to always be my first response, right?
Right.
So, but with them, it was like I could see that that's exactly what happened. Like I would have escalated that very, very quickly, knowing that the resolution to it all would have been, you and I probably being asked to leave, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. I shouldn't be perfectly fine with that, right?
Right.
Which is why, in this case, we're just like, you know what? We'll just deal with it. We've got a lot of stuff to do, and we'll just make do with it. But in my heart, right? Not my head. In my heart, I was just like, you know what? I am ready to just say, I
am in a world of shit.
Right. I was really like, if I gotta go, then I gotta go. But the plus I get to go home early, I get some sleep, and I don't have to put up with this.
Right. Yeah.
But again, that's not the right attitude to have. And so I think I try to restrain myself by just trying to ignore it, focus on other things, talk to you, and then of course, Acomi and I took the most mature route possible when dealing with a situation like this, which is we just text each other back and forth and made fun of them the whole time everything they said.
It was really funny.
Yeah. So every time they said something, I was like, and some of those things we said were really rude. They were very crass. They were very called for from my standpoint.
Very called for. Yeah, totally.
Right. So,
my personal favorite from me was, oh, hey, I recognize that. I got to yeehaw now.
Oh, I didn't hear that. My personal favorite was where they were talking about cosplay, and the one, which I think may have been the more densely packed of the two, right? Said, and I am not joking. I know we made a lot of comments about physical appearance and stuff like that, but this is not a joke. This is straight up serious. I'm putting my hand on the butt. I cannot lie, right? So, they were like cosplay, and they said, well, then how am I going to do my Jabba the Hutt cosplay? And I texted Acomi and I said, cosplay? I was like, you're one Twinkie away from being Jabba the Hutt now.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good.
So yeah, it was interesting.
It's just amazing to me that the actions of one table can just sour an entire experience for you. Because it wasn't a bad con. It really wasn't. Like, we had, a pretty decent crowd. Not the best we've ever had, but pretty decent. We made some pretty good sales. We had, met some great people. Yes. Met some absolutely fantastic people. Just huge love to everybody that we got to chat with and interview and all that. It was an overall positive experience. Yeah. But there will never be a time when I think back to this, and if I ever wear my hoodie or wear my shirt from this con or whatever, I'm gonna think back to sir, I love your Mega Man. This is Ash from Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, now I see it now I see it is Ash. Oh my god, that's wonderful. Have you seen the Evil Dead movies? Bitch, you're just fucking dressed up like this because, oh my god, my head's hurt. You stop it. I'm trying to drive. You make my head hurt. You're not trying to drive down the wheel. Jerk the wheel. Don't goddamn put your movement. Sorry. No, it's yeah, that happens so often. We are not exaggerating. I know it sounds like we are not exaggerating one bit at all.
My recommendation is, if you people think that we're exaggerating or being hyperbolic or whatever, or just being unnecessarily harsh, come to a North Carolina Comic-Con sometime.
I'm sure they'll be there.
And just listen for this. Oh, I can promise you, they'll be there.
Especially if there's a wrestler there.
Yeah, oh yeah. Look for the cons where a lot of professional wrestlers are making their appearances. Because Pretty Boy Ric Flair was, he was at this con. I guarantee that was the big draw for them.
I believe it was.
And just listen for it. Get yourself in some nice cosplay and just listen for the sir, and draw your own conclusions. That's my recommendation.
Yeah. As they say, if you think, we borrow so much from Chappelle's show, right, and from Charlie Murphy. But it's like, if you think I'm joking, he's like, go listen for him. Right?
I was just thinking you were going to be like, We give them the finger.
So it was, yeah, man. It was, but I mean, these things happen. You know, you just got to kind of deal with it and just, you know, just move on. And
let me ask you, because you registered for this table. I know for some of our like local shows, so it's just some in like our hometowns and things like that, there's usually like a segment of, do you have any particular requests or any particular requirements? A little section to fill that out in the form. Did this con have that?
See, now I don't want to answer.
Okay.
I don't want to answer because
you know what I'm going to say.
Yes.
Because we need to request, can we please not be with these people next time we exhibit?
I would, well, so because this is our first experience with them, I thought you would be like, why did you let this happen? But
no, I'm not holding you responsible for this at all. This is like a...
Oh, thank you, William.
No, this is just like a natural disaster, you know? It's the hurricane, man.
What was that? Oh, no, I won't hold you responsible. So...
I mean, little did we know the hurricane was a-coming.
Hurricanes are coming. So yeah, I mean, this podcast is going on for much longer, but I think it was going to be a long one. And, you know, we enjoy going to cons, we enjoy meeting people, you know, we enjoy, you know, sharing the things we've created with people. You know?
Yeah.
And we enjoy meeting other artists, other creators, you know, writers, artists, whatever it is that you do, right?
Yeah.
We enjoy meeting people like that.
We enjoy the passion that people can bring to something like this. Like, I love seeing when somebody's passionate about what they do.
Right.
That's great.
But, yeah, there was, and for the most part, you know, we're all a community too. When it comes to cons and everything, we're a community. We help each other out. Hey, I need some tape, or you know, you have this, or do you have that, or you know, that kind of stuff. That's what we do.
Yeah. It's community is the perfect word for it. Absolutely.
But you know, sometimes you have that one person in your community, right, that doesn't want to share, that doesn't want to, you know, be like, you know, well, you know, we all keep our grass cut to like this length. We don't keep our trash cans out on the curb after, like, you know, 4 o'clock, you know, on trash day, that kind of stuff, right? You know, and that's how we all, you know, get along. Good fences, right?
Yeah.
That's just something that everyone, I think, needs to think about.
Yeah.
And we even need to think about from time to time. I know we probably sometimes have crossed the line with different things, you know, because, you know, you do end up setting things up and you forget about the people behind you, or, you know, like, oh, well, we've got this thing here, maybe blocking some visibility or whatever, right?
Right.
You know, so it's something that we need to be checked on too on occasion, because sometimes we do just take things for granted. Because, oh, I've been doing this in the past 2 or 3, but this show is different. Every show is different.
Right.
Even if it's the same place you've been to, like, time and time again, you know, it's different because your neighbors are different. You're in a different location, right? So, you know, so it's always, you always need to treat it as if it's your first one there, and you know, just make sure you just follow those unspoken rules.
Yeah, just be courteous, you know. I mean, that's the big thing for all of this, whether it's the bus driver thing or the table neighbor thing or the drive-through thing. Just the biggest thing is just give a damn. That's all I ask of people, is to, you know, at least care enough to make the effort. Even if you don't ace it, just make the effort. Right. So, this wasn't funny. This was not a funny episode.
It's like our second unfunny. Well, they can all be unfunny. But
I mean, our moms think it's funny, but
I don't know if my mom probably thinks this is funny.
I don't know if my mom thinks any of the things we do is funny, but
yeah. So it's, you know, it's just not every topic is going to be like something great or grand or wonderful. But we hope we present it in a little bit of a humorous way, because, you know, at the same time we're ranting about this, but we're also trying to kind of make light of it ourselves. So we're not fuming and stewing over it for like the next, like, you know 20 months or whatever it is, you know. Because I don't know, I can hold on to a grudge, like, I don't know what.
Yeah. No, I mean, we do just kind of want to distance ourselves and be able to laugh at this. So,
we try to make a little bit light out of it, and just like I said, just put it all behind us. Be like, okay, that was something that happened, and now it's done.
yeah. So, this might have been a little mean-spirited, but hey, it could always be worse.
It was how we felt.
Yeah. So we felt mean-spirited.
My feelings are validated. All
right. Well, so this has been Our Moms Think We're Funny most of the time. Sometimes. So
I'm Turk182,
and I am Acomi.
And
hey, we like you guys at least.
Yeah, we do. Thank you. Please listen to more.
I love you guys. Please come back.
Well, bye.
Y'all quit it. Mama's watching her stories.
Go get Mama's Prime board.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.